dear ambassadors of the Culture Club and of the Foundation, dear secretary of the 42 members of the 42 councils of the Union of Mediterranean, dear members of the Advisory Council of the Foundation, dear partners, people who have participated in different activities of the Foundation in the last 10 years, and dear friends. This morning session has been conceived as a twofold debate, let me say. The first one, which will start right now, the title is I hope appealing, is an older Mediterranean possible, and there is a role of youth. This debate will start now until 10:30 and 45 maximum. Both debates are for sharing ideas. Both debates are for listening to you. They are debates, they are not speeches. That's why we ask the conductors to be real conductors among the people on the stage, and then to give, if not all of you, of course, but many of you, the opportunity to participate. At the same time, as you know, the different bodies of the Foundation will have, starting this afternoon, parallel meetings in this building. And as the building is very nice, it has some complexity, let me just tell you how it will work and try to finish on this point. First of all, at 12 p.m., even if our second debate will not be finished, but at 12 sharp, the members of the Board of Governors should leave for lunch, which will take place here, 5 minutes from our building, because at 1 o'clock you start your meetings, as senior official meetings.
Very good morning. Long speech by the Commissioner, no prospect of coffee. Not easy for me. But I'm a man, friends. Excellencies, President Azolai, and dear friends. It is with mixed emotion that I address you today as a Commissioner for Enlargement and Neighbourhood Policy. On the one hand, I'm sad that our joint work is coming to an end, but on the other, I'm also proud of what we have achieved. Last night, I presented news an award for contributions to civil society and dialogue in the Mediterranean. Thank you most sincerely once again for this valued recognition. I'm so glad to hear that particularly you are here with us today. I appreciate that you must also be running a similar emotional young. This is one who last acted as president of the Foundation, and role you have performed with great vision, courage, and wisdom. So let me at the very outset congratulate and thank you most sincerely for all that you have done for our common cause. Much of what we have achieved over the past 5 years in the Mediterranean would not have been done without our Foundation, without your guidance, without the inputs from the advisory group, and certainly not without the dedication and hard work of the networks, and most importantly, of the Executive Director and the staff in Alexandria, who are the very heart of the Foundation. In my 5 years as Commissioner for Enlargement and European Neighbourhood Policy, during which we have witnessed tumultuous changes in the neighbourhood, there have been setbacks and some successes. Throughout, I have tried to ensure that civil society is present in the different relations between Europe and the neighboring countries, and that those relationships are based on fairness, equal participation, and transparency. This has not only been a professional obligation for me, but it's also personal. You know that from my background and the struggles of my own country, to break free from repression and to finally take its place at the table of democratic countries. I remember the men and the movements that have made many sacrifices in the pursuit of freedom and democracy. They have helped inform my thinking and given me the reassurances in the time of doubt. In my political career, I have been inspired by Václav, who, like some other famous international statesmen of our times, made the unlikely transition from prisoner to president. It was he who said, and I quote, "Without free, self-respecting and autonomous citizens, there can be no free and independent nations. Without internal peace, that is peace among the citizens and between the citizens and states, there can be no guarantee of external peace." End quote. Those words reverberate now as we strive together to bring peace, prosperity, and security to the southern Mediterranean region. Dear friends, allow me to make a few remarks about the task of helping our southern neighbors. First, the ownership of this whole transformation and transition process lies strictly with you, our southern neighbors, and you should be the ultimate architects of the required changes. The European Union has no intention of imposing a model. We, the European Union, in the spirit of partnership, will be at the forefront of helping you achieve these goals and ensuring they bear the fruits of your impressive efforts so far on the path of political transition. It is not only our responsibility, but also our obligation, and also in our self-enlightened interest. Second, Europe has tried, not always successfully, to help bring the people into the complicated equations of governance in the region. And then, in 2011, you wrote the script. You said enough is enough. You took to the streets with your protests and demands for freedom and dignity. You won your way into the living rooms and hearts of the watching world. Your bravery came at a huge cost. Europe responded and continues to adapt to the new circumstances. We have got some things right and some things wrong. We do have had to rewrite our scripts and are still on a learning curve. We need to not just change our programs and policies, but also our mindset. We could have done better. There's lots of room for improvement. I do not want to talk about success or failure, except to say that we tried and we continue to try. The real failure is in not trying. Third, the challenges to the southern Mediterranean still remain huge, and they grab our attention every day in the media headlines. Syria, Iraq, Libya, the Middle East peace process, ISIS, the one Daesh threat, etc. Along with the conflict, there are also the other political economic challenges that you know only too well, like alarmingly high youth unemployment, extremism, and lack of trust in all established institutions. And now there's this new challenge also. How to manage the expectations of those who have suffered and witnessed many sacrifices in their quest for reform and dignity. Because democracy will not appear overnight. There's experiences in the old Europe, the East, and the Balkans for this time. But what's really important is that the path to reform is irreversible. Dear friends, today I'm not going to give you a balance sheet of programs, policies, instruments and financial flows from Europe to the Mediterranean over the past 5 years. Those figures are readily available for you. I would rather, in the spirit of delegation and in recognition of the awards, concentrate on the real advances we have made together on the tortuous road to a free, inclusive, and just society. But first question, what is Europe's motivation, our rationale, of helping our neighbors? Europe's birth out of crisis and conflict is a living illustration of the ambition to reconcile people in a common destiny, overcoming the destruction brought about by division, distrust, and hatred. It has helped us have a better understanding of the desire for dignity and respect in diversity. As President Barroso said on the occasion of the award of the Nobel Peace Prize to the European Union in 2012, and I quote, "As a community of nations that has overcome war and fought the totalitarianism, we will always stand by those who are in pursuit of peace and human dignity." End quote. We are now working to move from rhetoric to reality, from assertion to action, in a world in which democracy knows many definitions. Democracy is about a series of freedoms: expression, association, movement. It is freedom from fear. Democracy is about representation, inclusion, and accountability. That is why I have always put an emphasis on civil society's participation in efforts to make our relations more inclusive. We want a relationship that puts people at the heart of the policy agenda and projects our joint values and interests. Do not underestimate the part you can play in these transitional times. Your role lies in generating ideas, mobilizing people, acting as a bridge between society and the authorities. You can provide a way for citizens to get directly involved with the hopeful reforms in your countries. You can act as an independent eyes and ears inside, not only your own countries, but also inside the European Union, calling us to account. Representing the views, concerns, and aspirations of citizens. The political and legal frameworks within which you have to operate continue to change. Some progress has been made as greater freedoms of expression and association, but unfortunately, we also see the tendencies in the opposite direction in some countries where steps are being taken to significantly restrict freedom to operate independently. I regard civil society's input as the most important on the long road towards freer and better societies. You are the central actor in the creation of dynamic spaces, in the creation of trust and the confidence to promote tolerance, cooperation, and coexistence. The vibrance of a society and functioning democracy depends on the right of citizens to freely exercise the right to peaceful assembly and association. This nurtures open debate, providing safeguards against conflict and instability. Governments need to engage with civil society to help ensure that reform programs both reflect and have the support of society at large. This is why we are encouraging countries to establish a regular structured dialogue with civil society representatives to discuss issues related to the implementation of reforms. Genuine cooperation between governments and civil society is necessary. For example, when it comes to the monitoring, conduct, election campaigns, ensuring improved access to media and the public to information, and protecting freedom of expression and association. In the end, it is all about dialogue. But dialogue is not a big leap for passivity and inaction. We are promoting it as a component, not as an alternative, to active support for political and societal reform. These are the primary principles that underline regional initiatives or mechanisms for dialogue that many of you in this room have been working with us over the past 18 months. I'm delighted with the progress we have made since the initiative was launched in Marseille at the Lindh Forum. I have kept my side of the deal, and I made €1 million available for a series of activities in the pilot phase to test out the possible mechanisms for such dialogue. And you are certainly keeping your side of the deal too. I've been impressed with the depth and breadth of your recommendations in the different consultations and working groups. The pilot phase is now underway, as I requested it should be when I spoke to you in Brussels last April. My only regret is that I cannot accompany you along the rest of that road. But I'm comforted by the fact that the initiative has its own forward-looking dynamism and is in good hands, your hands. And I can reassure you here that this initiative and civil society's best interest will continue to enjoy the political and institutional support of my successor, Commissioner Johannes Hahn. Dear friends, let me finish by repeating something I have said many times. Dialogue needs first and foremost a political and social role that can be underpinned by receptiveness, elimination of misunderstanding and stereotypes, pluralism, and mutual recognition of each other's differences. Intercultural dialogue must tackle, preserve, and even promote cultural diversity. That is actually the Lindh's calling card. This is their mandate. This is the role that we extremely different and difficult circumstances. The Commission has always been a strong supporter of the Ireland Foundation and intends to remain so. I believe that we have demonstrated support not only through our discussions, but also through our financial support. In fact, we are preparing a new contract of 7 million euros we will sign before the end of the year. And we hope that other donors will also continue to support this foundation. And let me stress that our continuing support is rooted in a sense of necessity and urgency. Necessity because across the Mediterranean we are faced with the same challenges, we share common interests, and we see the same opportunities. A sense of urgency also because we are faced by the compliance threats of intolerance, fear, ignorance, and incomprehension. More than ever, there is a need for dialogue based on knowledge, tolerance, and respect among the peoples bordering the Mediterranean. In particular, to address stereotypes and dispel growing fears and misunderstandings. Dialogue needs first and foremost a political and social will that can then be underpinned by acceptance, elimination of misunderstanding in circles, pluralism, and mutual recognition of each other's differences. Intercultural dialogue must, in my opinion, tackle, preserve, and even promote the cultural diversity. I deeply believe that cultural diversity, the idea of the other, so-called other, does not have to be perceived as a threat, but as a challenge and opportunity. Not as something to fear, but something to aspire to. So once again, congratulations to Ireland Foundation on the milestone 10th anniversary. It has been a pleasure and a privilege working with you and having the honor to share in these celebrations. And as famous old saying goes, we only part to meet again. Thank you very much.
Somewhere in 2011, the European country decided that it needs dignity, that it is high time that we have liberties and freedom and a certain amount of expression and freedom of speech. The ground was fertile for the revolution of 2011 for youth to express themselves, to mushroom and get engaged in the civil society and the civil grounds. And in this regard, many programs, many initiatives were launched, and one of these is the Young Voices. One word to describe the Young Voices is that it has transformative power for me and for the trainees involved. In 6 Arab countries, the Young Voices managed to train over than 55,000 trainees and to hold more than 1,000 debates. So debating, it works on the personal level, yes, but it works also beyond this level. If you have youth, which is the very fundamental part of the society of a country that has just witnessed a revolution, if you bear in mind that this youth is someone who is a group that is able and equipped with the skills needed to face new challenges, new needs, new expectations, you would always estimate that you can go with safe steps forward, knowing that the society will do its role as it should be. Thank you. Thank you very much.
People are here to say that there is a different Europe, there is a different Arab world. So let's try to fill the gap. Let's try to meet and to destroy stereotypes. And I think this is the main issue, according to me. You know much better than I do, but this is the main problem in the Arab position. And people believe and destroying stereotypes and trying to build something different for
First of all, thanks to all of you. Thanks to you, Commissioner, today. And just let me express how moving it is just to be sitting here with the Commissioner, Francesca, and three young voices from the two shores of the Mediterranean. It's moving, and it's for the Hellenic Foundation, probably one of the most rewarding reality and performance. You remember, Commissioner, in Marseille, this morning we are maybe 200 in the room. In Marseille we were close to 1,500, and you, Commissioner, were seated in the same floor with the representatives of the whole Mediterranean voices, young voices, civil society. We have done it during this last 6 years. Close to 150,000 young people attended our meetings. It's not business as usual. It means for the foundation to be, as an institution, intergovernmental institution, to be credible for you and to be supported by you. It was one of probably the most difficult aim and result we are trying to achieve. But to your question, is the done completely, the work completely done? Not at all. But we paved the way. We show that it is possible. We have given to the Mediterranean references this art of possible to be together, to be free, to express its differences, and also to express that, there is no, can I say, common destiny or common world if your own identity didn't exist and respect it. There is diversity when each of us knows that its personality, its history, its spirituality, its difference, and we have to try to leverage it correctly, and not only by dealing with those expectations, this desire, by first saying, well, yesterday it was a tragic event in Tripoli, Libya, or such a bloodshed in Damascus, and so many fields in North Africa. First of all, let us address this issue in terms of security, in terms of short-term challenges, but unfortunately, the Underling Foundation was the only home address to try to explain that it is more complex than that. To try to explain that there is this regression, but there is also such a deep, strong, powerful, and I may say the majority of the civil societies are just human beings, and the expectation, the understanding, the desire to consider freedom, dignity, justice, coexistence in the region could be understood
with the same parameters when you are in Algeria or in London, when you are in Rabat or in Madrid, when you are in Tunis, and when you are in Brussels, in Paris. They are common values. And we, at the International Foundation, we have done all what we can with your help, listening to you, giving you a floor to express your views. We understood from the very beginning that, International Foundation do its best to resist the temptation of making it black and white, accepting stigmatization, accepting hate, racism, the human partnership, which will be also part of the civil society input and the executive and leadership institutional roadmap. It was the aim of the Organic Foundation, and I'm so proud this morning to again to be in the floor with all of us, with you, and to giving you a chance just to say what you said, which is not making the headlines in the newspaper after making. But you have your room, you have your place, you have your seat at the International Foundation. You are not doing it forever.
First of all, I would like to thank the Organic Foundation for hosting us here, for the privilege. And it's needed to talk about the importance of dialogue and how enriching it is. I would like to focus on the long-term effect of such an exchange program, and it's really quite beneficial. Our exchange between my organization and civil organizations like this moment was simpler and humble expectations and objectives, and it ended up quite big. It ended up benefiting about 2,000 plus children, Syrian children, still in need, and they are deployed in advance. And the exchange program can, for example, be designed to fit the current needs. Lebanon is an emergency, and that is going to affect it at the moment. It's an emergency, it's a big international crisis. Such exchanges are not going to foster civil society dialogue, it's really more focused on long-term making measures to development, which is like for us, and emergency waters, like our between emergency response and long-term development. So, yeah, I really hope this will be further than
We were talking about bridging, gas and not gas. The International Foundation is not only about the southern side of the Mediterranean. It's talking about this because there are a lot of emergencies, because this has been very major part of the European policy in the last year. But we also want to talk about Western Europe, and I think that our last guest a lot of the issues she comes from Poland. And Agnieszka Cichota.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for hosting me here and for giving me the possibility to share my views with you. So between 2013 and 2013, together with our Heritage Association from Poland and with the Center for Contemporary Arts and Culture from Egypt, we realized a project granted by International Foundation, which was called Movement for Democratic Revolution. And we gathered young artists from Poland and Egypt, in Poland actually. I think we should more look down to the civil society itself and see that we should identify their real needs and ask them what they really need and what they really want, and which direction they would like to go. And I hope that also the foundation will concentrate on the topic of even more. I was reading recently on the website that another foundation created such a tool, which was a mapping on translation. For me, living in Poland, I know a lot of new organizations from Poland, but not necessarily those who work in the North of Africa or the Middle East. And we think that it would be such a great tool also to support them in their way and in their work, and it would be a great tool for bridging people and bridging women, because I think this is what we need.
للأسف اللي بيدعوا الشباب في غزة انهم ينضموا لحركات المقاومة مع احترام المقاومة والحركات الإسلامية هو ترك غزة وحيدة من قبل المجتمع المدني. بعد حكم مخلص حماس وحكم في 2006 الفراغ اللي ترك عند الشباب الثقافي والمدني وترك الشباب في هذا الفراغ هو اللي دعا الشباب يتجهوا للمساجد كتعويض للجماعات الإسلامية وتعويض هذا الفراغ. أيضا كما تكلم هنا بعض المشاركين البطالة، لكن في غزة احنا بدينا ربيعنا الصغير 15/3/2011 نفس اليوم اللي بدأ في سوريا، حتى انه خرجنا على الهاشتاج على تويتر. بدينا هذا الربيع وانسحبنا سريعا. اين اخطأنا احنا الشباب في غزة في سوريا في مصر في تونس؟ انا بعتقد انه اخطأنا ما كانش في منظومة ايديولوجية بتجمعنا. يعني احنا الشباب بدينا لمكبوت جنسي ومكبوت اقتصاد ومكبوت حريات ومكبوت تعبير ومكبوت فقر، بدينا هي الثورات في الشارع، بدأها العمال بدأها النساء، ولكننا فجأة رجعنا كلنا، انسحبنا او تم شرائنا او تم توظيفنا في تونس وفي مصر وفي غزة. ليش؟ في غزة نفس الشيء، انا انحبست مرتين في حكومة غزة حماس 2011 شهر 3 وشهر 1. الآن أنا أركز على الصحافة، انسحبت من كل النشاط السياسي. أعتقد إنه السبب لأن كله هو الإحباط. الربيع العربي ترك لنا داعش، أنا لاحظت إنه تم التركيز على داعش كثير. ولكن داعش استخدم الإبهار، استخدم المكون اللي بالنسبة للغرب يكون بينتبه له، استخدم الدين الإسلامي، استخدمته وقاعدين احنا ننسى 70,000 كتلة من بشار الأسد بنركز على داعش. بخليك دائما تطلع للأمل، تطلع على الحرية والأفق للتغيير بإيدك.
I really think that what she says is character, which is what is bringing young people towards Islamism, towards violence. It's really something important and something that I really condition and I feel that I want to say, she can say, but I think we all should know that.
Au début, il y a à peine dans son discours qu'elle avait perdu la quasi-totalité de sa famille pendant la dernière guerre de Gaza. Et je crois qu'il faut que le monde occidental, et nous tous, nous prenions la juste dimension et que nous sachions que ce type de personnalité existe. Elle a à peine un peu plus de 20 ans. Elle a connu le drame